means Chaos55t here, and today I'm going to be telling you a story about, once again, school. But this time, it's about the middle school and high school people I have always dealt with. Disclaimer, I am not going to say their actual names, because these ones are a little more relevant, and I'm pretty sure would recognize my video if I told the story. And if any of you find out who those people are, do not go after them. Just give them a hug, because I'm pretty sure that they have changed. Now, there's this one particular person that followed me from middle school to high school. I cannot say her name, but I will call her Brady, as in Caddy and Brady. Now, Brady was one of those students. She lived in the ghetto, she was spoiled, she never learned about discipline. So any time that she became ungrateful or lashed out at someone and, she got what she deserves, she will lash out saying that she deserves everything, that she wants everything, that everything needs to go her way because she's a special snowflake. I am not gonna lie, during science class, when we got our tests in, she did not pass a single bit. Because what she did was she did what any student would do when they didn't study. They just randomly chose an answer. She didn't get any of them right. And then she went on a lecture towards the teacher of why she says all of her answers were correct. And her reason was so stupid. She was like,
oh my god, I totally deserve to get a passing grade from this. I got all the chemicals right. I'm pretty sure of it, because this is my world, my rules.
Yeah, she thinks she's the main character of a game. She thinks that the world we live in right now, she thinks she's the main character of it. She thinks she's the second coming. She thinks that she is so special that the world has to revolve around her. And I wish I was joking, because, like I said before, she was never given discipline, because her parents fucking worship her like she is the second coming. Anytime that it's supposed to be parent-teacher conference, and all the parents are there, they're literally talking about how, yes, our child is the next Messiah. I'm pretty sure that she'll save us all one day. And I'm like, what the hell? If you were to imagine a chart, imagine two different types of abuse. Physical abuse, which is aggressive or disowning or something like that. And then there's mental abuse, which is constant praising, lack of morality, not disciplining your child. And those parents are immediately on the ladder. Not once have I actually seen them discipline her when she misbehaves in front of them. Brady was literally beating up another student in front of her freaking parents. And you want to know why she did that? It was because the girl wore nicer clothing than her. That was it. Now, how I know this is because our counselor of our frickin' school dragged her into his office, and by the time that they were done, he was discussing on the way out about how it is not okay to beat up people even if it's because of clothing preferences. And you want to know what happens next? Brady played the victim card right in front of her parents, and they tried to fire the counselor. And it's kind of sad because this happened all the way through middle school and high school. What the hell, Brady? Oh boy, but now on to her friend, Caddy, which happened around only middle school. I think she transferred out during high school. I am not sure what happened to her. Now, Caddy is one of those students that is not only envious, spiteful, or jealous, but she is slick. She is very, she cons kids out of their money by getting bootleg stuff and just selling it to them. Imagine her as some sort of fucking weasel, you know? This is how much of a con artist Caddy was back then. She sold these kids Pokemon cards, but what she does is she perfectly pre-packets all of the Pokemon cards. It looks like it's brand new and untouched, she just bought it from the store. She sells it at a higher price. And then when the kids buy it and open it, they found out that it's not Pokemon cards, but it's pieces of cards from a card deck. You can imagine the angry calls from the parents to the teachers every time that Caddy conned someone. It went to the point where the teachers had to do daily checkups through her bag because, of course, she would usually hide some of the products in her bag. Like, she doesn't have any student supplies at all. Like, she always asks for paper and pencils and whatnot. So, whenever they look in her bag, they find out that there's, like, a lot of these products that she's been selling to kids. Like, imagine the Jell-O packets that you get, but she replaced the Jell-O powder with sand. But if you were to look a little closer, she also was selling consoles. Like, she was selling, like, the DSi at the time. Like, she was selling, like, the box of the console, but it was filled with rocks or a plastic McDonald's toy version of the DSi. And I know this is going to be written in the comments, but I'm going to say it first. Wouldn't the other students already find out that she's a con artist and stop buying from her? It's like, I wish that were the case, but some students there were very gullible, keep giving her more chances than she could have, and other times she actually does bring the product. It's just that she puts it at a higher price. And every student who keeps getting conned by her would just be like, why would you do this? And then her answers would always be,
supply and demand, baby.
that is, until one day she went to school crying because her parents kind of took away her credit card after they found out that she's been making money off of conning people. So, karma at its finest. Now this one may be a little sensitive for you guys. He only lasted in middle school for about a week or so. I thought of him as a good friend, but instead, he was a backstabbing traitor because of how he was raised. Now, I don't know what to give him as a name right now, but I'm just gonna call him Robbie Rotten, I guess. Well, Robbie came to school one day and, he was introduced. He was a transfer kid. No one knew why he transferred, at least until after he got kicked out. Everyone found out why, but, he and I became quick friends, and how I was just, helping him out through, homework. I was, he was helping me through gym class because, of course, I was a fucking twig. A twig with, a gut. But one day, his behavior made a complete 180. He constantly would yell at me. He would constantly punch me in the arm, only because I was a woman. And I'm not saying that to be like,
oh, well, it's me. I am a woman. He beat me up for no reason.
No, he kept making all these remarks about how women shouldn't be in school, how women should just stay as slaves, as furniture, only there to produce for men. And then during math class, when I was busy doing my work, he got aggressive towards me when I refused to do his work and started stabbing me on the leg with a lead pencil. He said to me when I was going to tell him to stop, he says,
if anyone finds out, I'm going to fucking stab you in the throat.
Of course, I was just freaking out internally. I couldn't show that he was, physically hurting me. Because, of course, he was still stabbing me across the leg until I did his work. So what I did was I carefully sketched out a message in really tiny writing. Of course, so he won't see it because he was dangerously close to me. And so when my math teacher came up and realized I had a tiny message, I just said, so what do you think of my work? And then he says, good, hold on a second. And he already has read it. So then he went to Robbie and dragged him out of class. Robbie was screaming,
Traitor! Traitor! I'm coming back for you, you fucking bitch!
He was dragged into our principal's office. He was expelled that day because turns out the father was a wrestler, but at the same time, he was also a woman beater. He taught his son that day of being a woman beater. He literally turned a friend against me, all because I was a girl. Now, I do not want you to take this out of context, please, because this is not a message saying that all men are like this. No, because this can happen in reverse, that a woman can also verbally and physically abuse a man. So please, only see the message as be very wary of who you're friends with, because who knows what they're being taught. Now on to the last person. I am not sure what she is doing now, and I do hope that she has changed her ways. This girl is named Miss Voice of Reason and was on DA at one point. She was a student at our school who was the biggest asshole of them all. Like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the greatest asshole of them all?
Miss Voice of Reason.
Good to know. She was my first art thief as well. Not only on DeviantArt at one point, but also at my school. Anytime I drew something for particularly art class, she would steal it before like the end of class, like everyone's already on their way out, then erase the watermark or erase my signature and write hers on it and tries to take all the credit. At one point, the teacher fell for it once and I didn't get a passing grade because, of course, they say you didn't turn yours in, even though I saw my piece of work posted on the wall. Like, it was being praised, like everyone was praising apology, slip of the tongue right there. Miss Voice of Reason was getting praised. They said like, oh, you have artistic talent, you have artistic capabilities, and I'm just like, but that was my work. Seriously, like, don't you guys recognize its style? And again, we were all drawing like fucking, like, we were referencing off of a freaking table with a fruit on top of it. It's the end of the world, I just referenced off of something, I'm a bad person. No. But then over time, when she did it again, the teachers caught on to it because that day I actually showed them my DeviantArt and they noticed my style exactly on the art that Miss Voice of Reason stole from me. Of course, she denied ever recognizing my style. She denied that I ever did my work and just thought that I was trying to find an excuse to steal her work. None of the teachers bought it because they showed her my DA. And that was the start of her account, Miss Voice of Reason. She stole this character from me. She got rid of the flower mark on it and tried to portray it as her own character. Then it said that I was the fake around here. Now here's where things get extra juicy for you folks, am I right? I showed them the account that she made to specifically steal my characters and bully me. So they caught on to it and they knew it was her account because, of course, she actually had her name, her real name on it. But I recommend you do not go on there or use like the archive thing because, like I said, do not lash out at her. She didn't know what she was doing back in middle school and I'm pretty sure she grew out of it by the time we all graduated. Speaking of that, during high school, of course, she was still gloaty McGloaterpants because she constantly brags about how she's going to graduate at 10th grade and everyone else is going to graduate at 12th grade. The thing was, I was a year younger than her, so what the fuck? How can anyone explain of how she's still in how she was still in 10th grade that year when we all graduated and she was a year older than me? Explain. Like, the fuck? And now that we're talking about high school, let me talk to you about this situation that has happened way before I graduated. 3 students set our school on fire because they wanted an early summer. You may close your jaws now because, actually just keep them wide open because these 3 students got away, easily. Like, the teachers knew who they were. The teachers found out, what they did, but they did not press charges. They didn't even call the cops on them. And the kids were just like, we got away good. And I'm just like, fuck you. We were on the top floor of the school. You could have killed me. But the thing was, this was their 3rd attempt that successfully tried burning down the school. The first attempt was them setting a toaster on fire. There was a teacher down at the cafeteria that managed to put it out and kick them out. They came back again, they snuck their way in somehow, then set the microwave on fire. Same teacher, kicked them out. They came back, bumped into one of the other teachers, they shrugged it off, and they went into our storage closet and set their own, they brought their own toaster, they set that on fire, and that was the time that it successfully started setting the entire school on fire. I was surprised that their ass weren't thrown in jail and trialed as an adult. But hey, they got expulsioned afterwards, am I right? And the thing is, it's I'm pretty sure no other school accepted them because they now have a reputation of burning down a school. And that's my entire story about my crazy experiences with students from middle school to high school. Do you got any stories about your experiences with other crazy students? Please comment below. This is Chaos55t here, signing out.